slow down. You got to slow down and take it easy. Slow down. You got to slow down and take it easy. Oh, yeah.
I am Walt White, and back here with another weekly cigar review. And it's about that time of year again. We get back into the bargain cigar breakdown. And what this is I'm going to do for a couple of weeks. I'm going to do bargain level cigars, which are cigars that I consider to be the price point at which I consider a cigar to be bargain level is $3 and under at the local cigar shop, or $3 and under online, including shipping costs. So that brings us to the first installment this year, and that is, the Havana Sunrise. From what I understand, this is put out by Nestor Plasencia in Nicaragua, and has a Connecticut wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Honduran fillers, and it's claimed to be medium body. So we'll just see how that goes. This is the Robusto size, which is a 5x50. They come in boxes of 25. And the only place I found them online from a place that I'm familiar with is TNTcigars.com, and they sell them for $49.95 a box, which then you add in their $5 shipping fee, and that breaks down to $2.20 per cigar. Yep, that's all I got. And in the Perlman Cigar Encyclopedia, if you go on their website, they have a comparison shopper webpage, which lists a very large number of cigar brands and vitolas, and they give you pricing for some of the more popular websites. And TNT Cigars is the only one that has this particular cigar. Now, I got these cigars several months ago. Probably coming close to a year. A friend of mine had tried some, were given to him from someone who passed away. He sort of inherited them, and he really liked them. And he was looking online. He found one cigar shop, or one online store, like Gangster Cigars or something like that, and they were claiming them to be, the closest thing you can get to real Havanas, and they were like $200 a box. And he asked me about them. I looked them up, and I found them for $50 a box somewhere else. So I ordered him a box. He wanted to split it, and this is actually the first one of that box that I've had, or I'm going to smoke. So we'll see how it goes. I don't usually like to go do a review on a single cigar, but wanted to get this thing started, and I didn't really have any cigars that I didn't already review or have experience with to do the bargain breakdown on. So I figured we'll just start things off with this one. If it's really bad, I'll smoke another one, not a big deal, and we'll go from there. So just bear with me for a second while I light this and get things underway. And to start, it's not bad. It's not really getting much in terms of flavor. It's just a mild to medium bodied, just smooth natural tobacco flavor. So that's about where we're at from the start. The drawl is nice. It's very free, a little bit of resistance. When you pinch the cigar a little bit, it feels firm from head to foot. I was doing this a little bit before I turned the camera on, so I was able to feel down the end not where it's lit now. So it feels good all the way throughout. This cigar has a toothy look to it. What I mean by that is the wrapper leaf has like these tiny little specks on it, which appear to be like oil, or dried up oil, and it's got a nice look to it. The veins are relatively small. There's one that runs throughout that's about a medium-sized vein. It adds a little bit of texture to the cigar when you handle it. But overall, it's not bad. It does look a little rugged, but for $2 a cigar, it's I don't expect a real prestige, perfect cigar. So as far as I'm concerned, for the price, this looks great. So anyway, I'm gonna take a quick break, grab myself a cup of Earl Grey tea, sit back, relax a little bit, and I'll be back and we'll get started on the first third. So I'll see you in just a sec. Puffing away on my Havana Sunrise. I've got my cup of Earl Grey tea, my manly Winnie the Pooh cup. That was a housewarming gift, and it's going pretty well with the cigar. I'm really happy with it so far, and I'm impressed. I mean, honestly I really didn't think much of the cigar the first time I had it, and there was a much older blend, probably from back in the boom. They were dried out and rehumidified, once or twice since I got them, and I didn't care much for them. And this new box isn't bad at all. I mean, I'm enjoying it. The ash is really nice. I mean, it's nice and firm. The burn line's pretty even. I mean, it's off a little bit, but it's really nothing to complain about. It appears to be very compacted and tight. There's no flakiness to it. It hasn't fallen yet. It's about 3/4 of an inch long, and it's burning well. The burn time, let's call it mediocre for me. It's not fast, but then again, it's not slow. It looks like I'm about 15 minutes into the cigar, so it's doing pretty good. The burn line is nice and thin. It's crisp, dark black. It's it looks really nice. The resting smoke is fairly light. I don't smell much of an aroma in the room. Again, I've got an exhaust fan in the window to try to pull some of it out, but usually you can pick up a cigar in the room that's got like a medium aroma. This seems to be pretty mild. I really can't detect it in the air, so I would assume it wouldn't be too bad around people that don't smoke cigars very often or almost non-smokers. Wow, that was hot. Okay, so the ash holds on for about 3/4 of an inch and then falls. Didn't quite burn a hole in my mouse pad, but wow, that'll wake you up in the morning. The body is mild to medium. There's not a whole lot to it in it right now. The finish is smooth. I don't know. It leaves like a very thin kind of texture in your mouth. You don't get that thick, smoky kind of thing going on. It tastes very crisp and thin and smooth. It's tough to describe, but you get the idea. I'm not getting a whole lot in terms of base flavor. It's just a mild, smooth, sort of just rich Nicaraguan tobacco. I'm not really getting anything in particular jumping out at me at this point in the cigar. So that's where we're going to leave it. I've got a little bit of a mess to clean up, and then be right back for the 2/3 part of the cigar. So see you in just a sec. Well, folks, welcome back. I cleaned up the mess that I made with when the ash landed on my hand and all over the place, but I'm all cleaned up. We're ready to get back to business. I'm entering the 2/3 point. I'm actually, I'm into it quite a ways, and cigar seems a little bit different than it started out to be. Initially, it was I don't know. I guess the only way to put it would be a little more flavorful. It just seems to have lost something at this point. It's not quite as concentrated. Like before, it was a nice concentrated, like a natural tobacco flavor with a bit of a Nicaraguan zing to it. and I guess that came through from the binder. But now it seems to have mellowed out, and it's got a sort of a salty flavor to it. It's so-so. You know, I could do with it or without it. You know, I really like the cigar more a little earlier on when it was a little more concentrated and it seemed to be more flavorful. There just seemed to be a little more oomph behind it. It just seems to have settled too much. The volume of smoke has been great. The draw is free. There's really not much resistance behind it, but the volume of smoke is really nice, and it's dense. You know, it's the same type of smoke that I always rave about. You know, it's easy to get through the sinuses, blow around the room. It's going to stay in a thick cloud. I like that type of smoke. I like that density, and that's what I'm getting out of this cigar. The body, as I mentioned, it's dropped off a little bit, but it's still, you know, mild, maybe mild to medium, and the base flavor is still that you know, that rich tobacco flavor with a little bit of the Nicaraguan zing behind it, but it's settled out, and I'm getting a little bit of saltiness, as I had mentioned. Now I'm starting to repeat myself. But overall, the cigar's not bad. It's still burning very well, nice and even. The ash is nice and compacted. I haven't been taking a chance. It gets, you know, between ½ inch and 3/4 of an inch. I knock it off. I don't want to end up burning myself again. But aside from it, it's smoking very well in that sense. You know, the burn rate is still middle of the road. It's not fast, but it's not quite as slow as I would like. And it's putting out good volumes of smoke, so really no complaints from there, except for the fact that it just seems to be dulling down a little bit when I would really prefer that it picked up. But that's about it as far as the 2/3 part of the cigar goes. So talk about a little bit what I've been smoking. You know, we've been getting away from that a little bit. Yesterday we had a get together, a couple of guys from Cigar Live, John and Zach, and Zach's wife. We met up at my local cigar shop. Zach was in the neighborhood for his brother's wedding, so decided to meet up. You know, it was a good time. Had fun. I smoked 3 cigars while I was there. I started off with a Perdomo Reserve Champagne in a Robusto size. Then I moved on to an Oliva Serie O number 4, and I capped off the day with an Oliva Master Blend 3, and then I decided to pack it up and head home. Everyone kind of left at the same time, so it was a good time. John and I, Zach ended up getting there a little later. John and I both got there at opening time, about 10 o'clock, and I think we both left at about 2:30, maybe. So it was a good time. You know, about 4 hours, 4.5 hours. We were just sitting back, smoking cigars, having a good time. So it was good. You know, John drove 90 minutes to get down here. So I'm going to make a point to stop up to his local shop, City Tobacco up in Edwardsville. I read a lot about them. Their events seem to be doing really well. So I want to get up there and see the shop anyway. And hanging out with John is just going to be another plus. So John, if you're watching, expect an email, and you know, we'll set up a time to head up there. Probably going to be in a couple weeks though, after the wedding. So that's that. And I'm going to take another break, and back we'll do the final third. Do an overview, see where the cigar stands up as far as my taste is concerned. In regards to, you know, price versus quality. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a sec. Well, folks, I'm back. Still sipping on Earl Grey tea. Puffing away on my my Havana Sunrise. As you can see, I burned down past the band, had to take it off. And this part of the cigar is it's more along the lines of the first third. And in that I mean that everything seems to be picking up across the board. The body is back up to that mild to medium range. The base flavor is back once again to a rich natural tobacco flavor, and it's got a little bit of an edginess, which I still think is can be attributed to the Nicaraguan binder, and the salty flavor I was getting before seems to have faded out, and it's replaced by almost like a nutty flavor, and it's blending very well with the rest of the aspects of the cigar. You know, it seems to go much better than that salty flavor did. The salty flavor almost seemed a bit out of place. Then again, the whole almost second third of the cigar seemed a little out of place. If I could rearrange the cigar, I would definitely take the second third and swap it with the first third, so that you started out more mild, and then you got progressively fuller to the final resting spot of this mild to medium. And so far, it's been a nice smoke. I mean, again, if I could change anything, I'd swap the first and second third. The ashes remain the same, light in color. It's compacted and firm. It's almost got like a sandy texture when it hits the ashtray, and I've just been keeping an eye on it. I don't let it get, I don't let it quite hit that 3/4 of an inch mark. I'm knocking it off the ashtray, knocking it off into the ashtray before then, just because of that first, drop. I didn't want it to happen again, and it leads me to believe that that's going to be common. It just happens to drop at that point. The ash isn't quite strong enough to hold on, but 3/4 of an inch, that's a nice solid ash, I think. I don't think that it makes a cigar any better if it's holds on and stronger more than that. I think that the 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch mark is a good baseline for for a good solid ash, if that makes any sense at all. And that's really about it. The Drawl is very free, but it puts out a dense, thick smoke, and it's very enjoyable. I mean, it's at this point, we're picking up from the second third. The finish is nice and smooth. I'm back to having that crisp, light feel, that mouth feel again, where it really wasn't there anymore in the second third. Everything just, the entire cigar just seemed to drop down, and then once you hit the final third, it's picking back up again, which is nice. I like that. I wish it would have been a steady progression up to where I'm at now. And overall, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think this is one of those sleeper cigars. You probably haven't heard of it unless you were browsing around on TNT's website, or at Club Stogie recently, where Paul, the owner of Club Stogie, is putting together an article for top 25 cigars, and he wants people's, I think it was their top 10 list of cigars they don't buy, or top 10 cigars they don't buy, which basically means he's looking for those kind of hidden gem cigars. And someone had mentioned this cigar, which kind of sparked it, and hey, I have those, let's try them. And I verified the price, and I got to try the cigar, and it fit in with the bargain breakdown that I'm doing. So it was a win-win situation. I like it. I'll definitely be buying more. I want to smoke a few more to confirm what I've experienced right now. But I don't think I'm going to have a problem. I think the next couple are going to be just as good, and I'm going to order another box just so I have a good solid rotation for morning cigars. I really enjoyed it, and that about wraps it up for the Havana Sunrise. I would recommend picking them up if you enjoy a nice mild and medium cigar, especially in the morning. I'm drinking it with tea, and it's going well with that. I can only imagine it would go well with coffee as well. So. That's my thoughts on the Havana Sunrise. So until next week, happy smoking.